Hello everybody and welcome to F1 2020. Recently I've joined an Australian racing league called ARG, and this is my first race for them in their Tier 2. I qualified P6, but without further ado, here we go. 5 lights and away we go in this Australian Grand Prix. It's not a bad start. We get the jump on the Red Bull right next to it. And right away we have issues because the top 3 have all collided and it backed me up. I've had to lift off the throttle, but we keep it in and it's not bad. So let's drop to a replay now. Pretty reasonable getaway from everyone. I don't think anyone had any major issues. But as I say, I think the top 3, just 3 into 1 doesn't go in that first corner. And we ended up having to back out of it. Otherwise we would have ended up joining them, unfortunately. And as we spot our braking point for the second corner, trying to find a space, and we suddenly get rammed up the rear. If we cut to a replay, slow motion replay, you can see in the mirror both Red Bulls braking very, very late, and unfortunately one of them just gives us a nice little shove up the rear and pushes us off the circuit. So the position we did gain off the line, we've instantly lost, and we've lost a hell of a lot more. Virtual safety car out, it is chaos here. And just to rub salt into the wounds, we get an illegal overtake as well. So we have to hang back and give yet another position away, dropping us down to P13. So as we jump ahead now, as the virtual safety car ends near the end of the first lap, we've got Ghost Rider in front of us who's weaving all over the place, nearly takes us out in the braking zone. We are all over the back of him. I'm desperate to get this move done and dusted as soon as I possibly can. So we're right all over the back of him, but he's all over the back of a Renault in turn who's got connection issues and seems to be jumping all over the place, which is confusing both of us at this point. But we get a really nice run out of the last corner, right in behind him. He goes on the grass, we get up beside him, rich and overtake. We're looking in the first corner, but the Renault comes in front and he's glitching all over the place, puts us off, seems to put off the AlphaTauri as well, who ends up running wide on the grass, and we end up getting both of those positions. Got off a bit lucky there, so as we speed up for the rest of the lap, here we start catching on the guys in front of us. So at this point we still haven't raced with anyone in this lobby before. We don't know who anyone is. We don't know what their racing is like. So far it's not a great start, having been taken out of the second corner. But let's see what the rest of the race can bring us, as we got the 3 in front of us squabbling. One of the AlphaTauris goes off wide. We gain that position. Nice and easy. So that's another position gain. Up into P9 now. Again, the McLaren and the Ferrari right in front of us having a good old battle. The Ferrari drops into the pits, but that leads us right onto the back of this McLaren. But I think this McLaren just has a bit more pace than us, and he manages just to keep ahead of us. He seems to have much better straight line speed. For the next lap or so, he just tends to pull away. We keep it about a second gap, but he's having a battle with the Red Bull that he catches up in front, who gets a really bad exit and bins it in the wall, and that brings the safety car out. So it gains us yet another position up into P6 now, but also the safety car's out. We're on lap 4 of 29, and I'm thinking, let's go into the pits and let's get some medium tyres on. But at this point, if you notice, Jeff asked me for a strategy change, and I clicked on it thinking he was just going to put me on the mediums, because that's all I saw. But actually, what he was suggesting to me was to go onto a brand new set of soft compound tyres and then do another stop later in the race for a set of mediums. Had I actually paid attention, I would have gone straight on the mediums or straight on the hards and ran to the end of the race. But as it stands, we only lose one place, or a couple of places, sorry. So we're down into 8th place. So we haven't lost all that much in the grand scheme of things, but we do have brand new soft compound tyres on. So everybody else is running on the soft compound tyre, but their tyres are a lot older than mine now. So as the guy in front of us pits in the Williams, so that gains us back a place. So we're in P8 now, or P7, sorry. So we're not looking too bad here. There is a few cars behind us that are on the hard compound tyres and don't have to pit again. But our pace advantage should be an awful lot. So as we're sat behind the Williams now, ready for the restart. Safety car is in, and we are back racing, and we get a much better drive off the last corner, much better reactions than this Williams. And we get past him, but we get past him before the start-finish straight and have to give the position back, unfortunately. So that's a bit of a bummer. My mistake, should have timed that a lot better, really, on that one. But we get a really nice run out of down to the second corner this time. We go at the inside, and he just decides to turn straight in on us, and we're very lucky not to end up spinning there at this point. A bit annoying, really. He should have given us a lot more space than that, but the way things go, we are still in the race, so it could be a lot worse. We're still on the back of him. We get a much faster run through the fast section, but we got Liam in the Renault behind us, who's got a much better run. And he looks to the inside, but we cover off the inside, so he goes down the middle. It's going to be 3 wide into this next corner. As we take a look, he gives us a little shove on the rear, and the Williams gives him a shove, and both him and the Williams go up. So we, again, got off quite lightly on that one. It was our corner. We were miles ahead of both cars, and we had the inside line. But we skip ahead now, forward a lap. He's right on the back of us again. In this Renault, he's got so much better speed than us. There's not really much point fighting it. Might as well just let him go. So we drop it into lean, let him go. There is a group battling up ahead, so our focus is on catching them and trying to overtake them. So we'll go into a bit of fast forward or hyperdrive again for the next lap and see what we can do. At this point, we're just sitting pretty behind, hanging on with the DRS, keeping in touch with the guys in front. It's a bit of a train. We do have the pace advantage on the soft compound tyre, or the newer soft compound tyres, and by the looks of it, Liam's gone up the inside of the Merc and taken them both out. So we end up gaining 2 more positions, and we're now up into 5th place. And come on, fast forward a little bit, and Kelly and the Haas on the hard compound tyres just seems to let us through. I'm not sure whether he was doing that on purpose, whether he thought he might just follow me through with the newer soft, but that was nice of him. For the next couple of laps, he is all over the back of us, and I'm struggling to sort of pull away from him and make a move on the McLaren, but very fortunately the McLaren pulls into the pits now, so we're up into P3, and we catch the second McLaren very quickly indeed. We're all over the back of him here. He doesn't get a great traction out of this corner. We get a much better run. We have to back off because we're so close, but we end up putting Rich in overtake, and we go up the inside. It's going to be a very brave move indeed, and we make it stick. That's a lovely move for P2 in this race. So far, this is a very nice recovery drive. We do have cars behind us that aren't due to stop again, and we do have to stop. But we do have the pace advantage right now, and when we pit for the newer tyres, we're going to have the pace advantage too. So we're nearly losing coming into the second to last corner there. But as we cross the line for onto lap 13, we have a nice big gap of 4 seconds to the leader, who has a 3-second penalty as well. But we keep it nice and neat and tidy. I think we got much newer tyres as well at this point, and we start chasing him down lap after lap. We make some pretty good inroads here, as we see there's Liam in the Renault, who's trying to make a bit of a recovery after his issues as well. We pass a back marker already, isn't too bad. But if you watch the time delta in the top left-hand side of your screen, we're just gaining time hand over fist on the Red Bull who's in the lead. So we're looking pretty good right now. We're looking pretty solid. We need to build a nice gap to the guys on hards, but the Haas behind us on hards, we're comfortably ahead of him now, but he's only a second and a half, and we're really not gaining or pulling a big enough gap on him right now. So I think it's a bit of a lost cause against them. But as we approach halfway through lap 14, we are closing right up to this Red Bull. We are under a second now. We're 4/10 away from him. So we're going to be looking to line up a move. Let's see what we can do through the fast corners. He gets a pretty decent run, so we've got DRS now. Helps us catch up to the back of him. So let's see if we can make a move going into the start-finish straight. Just let's keep nice and close to him around this section. Drop it in lean. We'll just wait for our time. We'll wait for the right moment. Nice and close, but as we come around the second to last corner, he dives off into the pits. He obviously realised that there was no point fighting or battling me. You might as well get fresh tyres and get the undercut on me. The very next lap, we decided to come in as well. We're on 67% of the left rear. So we're really pushing the boundaries of puncher territory at this point. So let's go on to some fresh mediums to round out the rest of the race. And as we come into the pits, a bit of luck because the safety car is out. So everybody has to slow down, which means we are gaining time now in the pits. We're gaining positions on what we would. When we come out, we only drop down to 4th place. We have overcut the Red Bull that we caught up on the previous lap. But we are now on fresh medium tyres. And the 2 guys ahead of us who were on hard compound tyres, they both pit for fresh mediums, which is the right call, because otherwise we'd be right behind them. Which means we do manage to jump up into P2, but we don't have quite enough to catch up with Kelly in the Haas. So we are sitting really nicely in P2. We do have a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately, but so does the Haas in front of us, so does the Red Bull behind us. And at this point, we're ready to restart, and here we go. I didn't think anything of that. But we obviously, the game thought we touched him, and we got a 5-second penalty for it as well. Very annoying. I didn't think we touched, and I've gone through the replays and checked. It is very fine margins, really fine. But anyway, he leaves it to the last minute to restart the race, and away we go. We're off. We get a pretty reasonable restart behind him, but he's got the tyres really on that one. Decent first corner, but it looks like behind us we've got the Mercedes has overtaken the Red Bull. So now we are looking behind us. We are slowly losing touch with Kelly in the Haas. He just seems to be a quicker driver than us, got the pace advantage over us at this point. And so does the Mercedes behind us, who's all over the back of us. Is he going to have a look? No, he doesn't quite have a look into turn 1, but I think he's going to get us very shortly. It's only going to be a matter of time. And coming out of the fast chicane, he's just got so much more speed than us, so we drop it down into lean. We let him go. There's no point in keep on him, really. He might make a mistake. We're still P3, so we're still looking pretty good at this point, but as we look behind, we have Liam in this Renault, who we know is very fast and is very aggressive with his overtaking. So we're eyes focused to behind, because he is also on soft compound tyres. And we're only on mediums, but we get another safety car. We have had so many safety cars this race already, and virtual safety cars as well. But let's skip ahead to the end of the safety car. We're coming on to lap 28, so there's only going to be 2 laps remaining. Not very much. We all have a lot of penalties, so we're going to struggle here to pull a gap on the guys behind us. We're not looking in a great position. But no, not a great restart. We do lose a bit of touch, a bit of ground to the Mercedes in front. But we keep ahead of the Renault behind. But I think again, it's only going to be a matter of time with the pace advantage that Renault has. But we get a much better drive out of the first corner. I have a little look, but I'm too far back. But I don't want to overtake, because as you can see, the whole circuit is under yellow flags, and I wasn't sure at this point. It turns out this was just a glitch with the game, or an error at this point, but I wasn't really sure. And as we see the Renault having a look at the back of us, and I thought, well, we've got a lot of not sure whether we can overtake or not. But again, look in the mirror, the Renault's coming. We just let him by, see whether he ends up getting a penalty or an illegal overtake for that. But he doesn't, and at this point I realise that there is just an issue. For whatever reason, these last 2 laps are going to be under full yellow flags. But now we've got another issue. We've got an Alfa Romeo right behind us, all over the back of us. He's catching. Is he going to go at the inside? He sends one at the inside, but we give him room, and he can't quite get us. We do have the ascendancy into that corner. That's good. And we start to catch again the Renault and the Mercedes up ahead, who are battling away. And the Mercedes is glitching all over the place. He does come into the pits because I believe he got a drive-through penalty. I'm not sure what that was for. So we end up going back up into P3, but we do have a lot of penalties against our name now, and we're not going to stay there, which is very unfortunate. So coming on to the last lap of the race, We're desperately clinging on to the back of Liam. We've lost DRS, unfortunately, which would have helped us pull a bigger gap to the guys behind us, save us losing so many places. But we're really pushing as hard as we can to get that gap out. And as we come into this flat-out right-hander, we run a little wide.
You've been awarded a time penalty for
there
that
goes
last
our
incident.
race. Another 3-second time penalty. That really is the nail in the coffin, unfortunately. So let's skip ahead right to the end. Not much really happens. We managed to pull a gap on the Alpha behind us. We come across the line. It's third on the road. A pretty good race, all things considered. Really, the Alfa Romeo behind us had no penalties at all, and he ended up winning the race. Just to show how close we were, but in the end, it is 5th place. Not a bad result considering, so I'm pretty happy with that. If you could do me an honor and like this video and subscribe to my channel, that would be very, very much appreciated, as I will leave you with a few screenshots of the race and my favourite moments. Thank you very much. See you next time.